Hey, guys and gals, it is Lamont, team member of Gentle Lion, headquartered in Central Oregon, God's country, Bend, Oregon, our favorite place. And just reaching out for our weekly little get together, a surgical strike, if you will, to give you something to think about for the course of this week. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it is still a slow rollout, and it's still some frustrating times. It looks like things are going to start opening up again a little bit, but we will see how that goes, because right now we're still living under the confines, under one roof, and not a lot of places to go. We got to be very creative with what we do with our family now, and it can still be very frustrating. But this is the time to think about how you're doing it and how you're going about it to bring that best version of self to the table. Remember, at Gentle Lion, we're always looking for that better husband, better father, creating stronger families. And you know what? We all stood on the altar when we got married, and some of us maybe haven't got that piece of paper that says marriage certificate. Maybe we're partnered up. Okay, so be it. You know what? Because that piece of paper doesn't necessarily do anything to change the molecular structure of the universe. It's a legal document. And we're big supporters of marriage because we believe marriage is a divine institution that God invented. But some of us haven't went down that road yet. So be it. Because this is good information whether you're technically married or you're partnered up. Because when you're partnered up, you're doing everything that looks like, smells like, and tastes like marriage when you start living together, even if you don't have that marriage certificate. And I'm going to borrow something from good old Andy Stanley. I love him. He's, one of the best pastor teachers out there and a great communicator, son of Charles Stanley. And again, I don't think he'd mind really, in these circles of building the kingdom. I don't think there's any pride and ownership. We all take and try to use what we can use to convey a message to help folks live the deep, rich, meaningful life that is available to them. Because to miss that deep, meaningful, rich, abundant life is too big of an opportunity to miss. But he says something about, when we go in that altar and we say, I do, doesn't necessarily mean we can. When we say I do, it makes us accountable, but it doesn't necessarily make us capable. And when we are accountable and not capable, you can very often end up miserable. And we don't want that for anybody. And we know a lot of our guys out there got a lot of wrong answers as far as what does it mean to be a man. Because unfortunately, a lot of us had dads that didn't necessarily give us the right examples of what it means to be a man, how to accept that mantle of responsibility, how to truly cherish a woman who happened to be our mother. If we didn't see that, we tried to figure these things out along the way and very often made life more difficult for ourselves. And when a woman is not cherished, she ends up, and I'm not trying to speak for you ladies out there, so you can call me and correct me if you don't think I'm right or accurate on this. But when a woman doesn't feel truly cherished, she ends up settling for being occasionally desired. Yet God mandated us to cherish our wives as Christ loved the church. That's a sacrificial love. That's servant leadership. That's a race to the back of the line to serve your wife. And when you honor your wife, when you actually do honor your wife, it's a form of worship, because Jesus Christ said, love your wife as I've loved the church. And I love the church so much, I laid my life down for it. So it's really great stuff when we think about it, but we get caught up in the workaday world, we get caught up and lulled into mediocrity or just ho hum another day. And particularly under these situations, maybe you were doing a date night once every 2 weeks or so. And now where do you go? Drive in window, McDonald's. Hey, supersize that Happy Meal. Take care of my girl. So that's the reality of it. But we got to do the best we can, even under these trying circumstances. But basically, there's three different ways that we can relate to our wife. And we were talking about this in a Gentle Lion class that we held for some of the Bubbas that checked in, our Lions that checked in last week. But it's definitely worth talking about and reiterating. But there's three basic ways that we can relate to our wife. First is back to back. You know what? That's back to back with your bride. And you're not always necessarily together, but you are working or fighting for the same cause. You always know you got each other's six, whether it comes to the kiddos, it comes to finances, it comes for projects around the house. You might have a different opinion, but you're always going to try to find that win win situation and be back to back with your bride. The second way we can relate is, particularly under this situation, is shoulder to shoulder. That's side by side as we're working through these difficult times. We're there together, we're getting things done together. And maybe, you know what, you're upstairs watching a movie and she's downstairs doing some sewing, but you just have that sense of what we do together, and we're going to accomplish the mission together. And again, just a wonderful way to connect and give that support to our significant other. Then there's the third way, which is, again, very much one of the most important, which is face to face. Focus on listening to her at a truly heart level. I mean, being there. It's that face to face connection. I'll tell you right now, the number one cause for divorce in the United States is lack of communication. Yeah, we're not very good at it. And our wives, a common complaint I've heard, and I've talked to a bunch of women out there in the decade I was doing, some mandated treatment for the county and counseling and all the above. But the common complaint is he just doesn't communicate. He just doesn't listen. And a lot of us guys have that condition where we just, we don't open up. We're not vulnerable. We don't have the ways and means to put our feelings and emotions into words, and instead we'll just kind of wander off or isolate or just kind of shut down. There's nothing more your wife wants to do than have that face to face connection, to let her see you at the deepest level. It's that connection phase, if you will. And then she reciprocates, allowing to her at the deepest level. That's what the connection's all about. Sitting on the porch swing and a couple of terry cloth bathrobes, watching the sun go down and just going, man, this is good stuff. No matter where we're at, or we're together, So it's that back to back, it's that shoulder to shoulder, it's that face to face. Because there's a saying that you can tell the conditions of a man's heart because it's going to be reflected in the eyes of his wife. And I think I've mentioned that before. But you know what? You want to take a look at the eyes of your wife to see maybe where your heart's at. And we're looking for that best version. Remember, that best version is that guy that's going to come to the table with the fruits of the Spirit. He's going to be more patient, more kind, more loving, more giving. He's going to give his family the best of his energy. We aren't trying to change anybody. I tell people that all the time. Man, the secret sauce is not trying to pound any square pegs in a hole, or if only you change, or if only you do this, I'd be okay. It's about making the changes we need to make from a belief system, from a conviction. This is who and what we are. And I will be that guy that's more patient, more kind, more loving, more caring. And I'm going to allow the world to respond to that guy, the guy that's got the song in his heart, the muscle in his back, the ability to walk into a room, lift the sofa, lift the spirits. What do you need me to do? I have arrived, and the fruits of the Spirit comes with me. And you know what? We're followers of Jesus Christ, not a Gentle Lion, and we've just found that it's so much easier to tap into the fruits of the spirits because those are promises God gives us, and his character is immutable. It never changes. His promises are perfect promises. They're the same in eternity past as they will be in eternity future. He's never going to change, and his love is abundant, and his mercies are new every day. And mercy is not giving us what we deserve, and grace is giving us what we don't deserve. So we get both of those free. All we got to do is receive them. So we find it's just a whole lot easier. We find that life is just better with Jesus, and we become better at life with Jesus. It's just a simple equation. So we want you to have that rich, full, abundant life with your bride. We want you to have that connection. We want her to be able to say, out of all the guys, that's my guy. That's my protector. That's my provider. You know what? They broke the code after him, and he's my guy. And I do feel cherished and I do feel loved and I do feel that we're in concert on the same page. And I just look forward to this journey with him. And you know what? You want to be a student of her, you want to know her, and you want to know her at a deeper level and allow her to respond to that man. And you are always going to be a student of your mate. Keep that sense of curiosity, keep that sense of adventure. And you go, well, Major B, I've been confined, in this house for a month. So where's my sense of adventure? Hey, leadership role, man. What can I say? Shoulder into the plow, head up, chest out. You got to be creative. You got to be innovative. You got to do some things. Maybe you go get the drive up window Happy Meal, but you know what? You light a couple candles and you put it out on the table and you have a candlelight dinner with the kiddos. Watch them respond to that man. It's amazing stuff. It's little things. These aren't things that are hard to do, but let me tell you what, these are easy things to do. But the catch about things that are easy things to do, they're easy not to do. All right. So come on, let's step up to the plate. Let's give that best version of self, and let's let our family respond to that man that is worthy of their honor and respect. Love you, brothers, sisters. Take care of yourselves. Talk to you next week.